Hi, I'm Melissa from SoGoSurvey, and I'm here to talk to you today about the most important ingredient in every single thing you've been sending out. Whether it's a holiday card, a survey invitation, or email marketing, you know that what you've got to have is voice. Let's take a look. Before we get too far, let's have a quick check-in on voice. Voice, without going into full English teacher mode here, voice is what makes writing sound like you. When you hear my own voice, you know, this is Melissa from SoGoSurvey. You should be able to tell the same thing from my writing. We call voice the golden thread. It flows through language, shows that identity throughout, something about the author, connects to you, the audience, and connects to the topic, bringing it all together. So when we're building that message, we need the just right. So the Goldilocks method is here, not too hot, not too cold, just right. We're looking at the right balance of voice and content, again, appropriate for the audience. We can't have people be too gushy, not enough, too sterile. Just right is what we're looking for. We have three options we see most often. The first one is polished to a chill, we're calling it. If you've ever been to somebody's house and you recognize suddenly they have no clutter, nothing on any horizontal surface, and you think, how can people live like this? It's very clean, of course, but it's a bit sterile. So we're looking at marketing messages that are trying to be classy. Survey invitations, of course, for example, the same thing. Holiday cards that say nothing. There's nothing to connect with. There's nothing personal. It is very clean. That's very impressive. It's very professional looking, but it's also a little bit chilly and not always in the best of ways. We also see sometimes people go overboard trying to share so many things with you. It seems a little bit odd, especially if it's somebody that you don't know. Of course, if it's a personal holiday letter, for example, from people that you know really well, that's fine. But when it's a marketing person or somebody who's sending you a survey invitation and there's tons of stuff and you don't even know who that person is, it's a little weird. It's a little hard to get excited about it. When you see that polished version, remember, this is that clean, polished, pristine. This is almost the opposite. There's a lot going on here. There might be a lot of buttons, bells and whistles, CTAs. As a result of reading this, you don't know what to do next. So there's just way too much going on. The last one, of course, the ideal situation, we call it here I see you, which is, of course, a little bit of a joke. But the idea that I see who that person is, right? It sounds from this title here that this is something that requires surgical precision, and probably it does. This is a very precise balance. We're taking a look at, what is that something that's going to come from me to you, and you're going to see, aha, this is from a real person. They recognize me as a real person. They respect my time. They know my interests and needs. You can see this is a really significant amount of research will need to have gone into this kind of a message, but it's the ideal situation, the holy grail of messages. So if you're thinking, I don't really know if what we're sending out sounds exactly like us or what we'd like to, a couple things to start with. Identify your real purpose. If it's just to check in, just to give them a nudge, that's fine. Keep to the point. Don't add in a lot of extra stuff just to be a filler. If it needs to be short, it needs to be short. That's fine. If it needs to be long, making sure you're being clear. Maybe use bullets. Maybe use different, text features, bold, underline, that kind of thing, just to make it clear. Needs, interests, and preferences of your audience. Be sure that you're communicating directly to them using the language, acronyms, whatever it is that they need to understand as clearly as possible. And make sure it looks good. If you've got a hex code that you're supposed to be using for all of your communication, all of your logos should always be in this color, for example, use it consistently across everything that you're doing. So you're showing that that is a consistent voice. Voice seen in this case almost from a visual perspective, but also voice and tone should be something based on something that should be found in your user guide, your style guide. How are you communicating? These are for marketing messages. These are for technical support. What are the kinds of voices and tones that your organization has decided are appropriate for each of these different modes? If you have some thoughts, share your voice with us, of course. We'd love to hear from you in terms of feedback, in terms of your best practices. Check out any of our social media. Connect with us, too. We'd love to hear your feedback. Again, your voice counts, of course. We'd love to hear it. Thanks so much for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you again soon. In the meantime, visit our website, SoGoSurvey.com, or visit with us on social media @SoGoSurvey. See you next time.